heard that right. Disney villains have kids.
And who exactly are your parents, Evie? The Descendants have been anything but shy when it comes to mashing all of our favorite Disney villains and heroes into the same world. Not to mention, getting to see the next generation mingle is actually pretty epic. But there are still some major questions that have not been answered in the past 3 films. One big one being, who exactly is Evie's dad? You would think that there'd be some more backstory on one of the most important characters. Well, we dug a little deeper into the films and inner workings of the fandom and may have found the answers you're looking for.
Evie, Evil Queen's daughter.
Evie, beautiful, vain, at least in the first film, and daughter of Snow White's notorious villain, the Evil Queen. Because of her mother's former evil doings, she was born and raised on the Isle of the Lost alongside other villains and their children. But besides being vain, Evie wasn't much of a villain herself. We see that even more once she heads off to Auradon Prep alongside Mal, Carlos, and Jay. While her intentions on the outside are to steal the magic fairy godmother's wand that will once again allow villains to mingle with the rest of the world, deep down she just wants to live the regular teen life she was deprived of growing up.
How many rooms in your castle?
Too many to count.
While growing up on the Isle, Evie was always a welcome distraction to the chaos. With her diplomacy and charming attitude, she basically brought light to every room. However, this is incredibly different from her mother and her morals. As we see in the first film, before her character development, Evie is completely brainwashed to believe that the most important thing in life is that she remains the fairest of them all.
Prince with a big castle and a mother-in-law wing.
Something her mother told would be vital in landing that perfect husband. Could her mother be projecting her past mistakes when it comes to her love life? The mistakes she might have made with Evie's father? The Evil Queen also made sure that Evie was well equipped in everything that would classify a woman as a stereotypical housewife. Eye roll. She mentions in the first film that,
But I'm really good at sewing and cooking and cleaning. You know, like your mother, Cinderella.
how else would she have the best outfits in all the land? There is tons of speculation though that Evie was taught all of this from her mother because her mother believes this is what prevented her from finding, or better yet, keeping her true love. I mean, Evie admits that she isn't allowed to leave the house without her mother approving her appearance. Talk about being strict. When we follow Evie to Auradon, we also see that her biggest goal at the academy is to find a husband.
Any chance he's in line for a throne? Anywhere in line?
While it could be that it's the morals of her mother rubbing off on her, there's also a theory going around that Evie might be seeking that male partnership because of her lack of father figure. She even uses the magic mirror that her mother gave her to find the wand in order to impress Doug, the son of one of the 7 dwarves. Do you think that not growing up with a father had a big impact on Evie? Towards the end of the film, we do see Evie learn that there's more important qualities she has other than her beauty.
I guess I am kind of talented. You are definitely gifted.
And we see her take on more of an intellectual role, especially when it comes to chemistry. Her quick change of heart, though, opens up so many theories into who could actually be her father. Let's take a look at some theories that might possibly blow you away. The most obvious theory is that maybe Evie's father is just good old King Leopold. If we go back to the original Snow White tale, the Evil Queen is married to Snow White's father, also known as Leopold. While things turn dark in the original tale with the Evil Queen meeting her demise by falling off a cliff, this obviously did not happen in the world of the Descendants. What if she was brainwashed to the Isle already pregnant with Evie? It's totally possible. I mean, Snow White may be considered the fairest of them all to the heroes, but to the villains, Evie was just as beautiful. Could the two be half-sisters?
Maybe we can.
We do have to admit, they kind of do look alike, but because we don't have an exact timeline, it's kinda difficult to tell. Staying within the vibes of the world of Snow White, we could also take a guess that maybe the traditional huntsman is her father.
But your majesty, the little princess.
While he never succeeded in killing Snow White, he would most likely be banished to the Isle alongside the Evil Queen and her daughter. Some might say that he was more than just the Queen's servant. In the ABC Disney series Once Upon a Time, which also dealt on traditional versions of our favorite Disney characters, the Evil Queen actually controlled the huntsman and made him fall in love with her. Did the Evil Queen not also brainwash Evie into thinking that her beauty was all that mattered? I mean, that's a little darker than we're betting a Disney Channel movie would go, but it's definitely still a possibility. Not to mention that one of the Evil Queen's crimes for being sent to the Isle was actually manipulation. Going off taking some inspiration from the series Once Upon a Time, we can also theorize that maybe the evil queen was in love with someone before being forced to marry into royalty.
My gift to you is this happy day.
All of the Descendants characters seem to have untraditional backstories, so what if this was hers? It wouldn't be surprising for the evil queen to have been in love with someone who didn't return the same feelings and instead used her. That would also explain her insecurities when it comes to making sure her daughter is chosen by a man to become his wife. And maybe it's the reason she's so controlling as well. It's a super problematic theory, but she is a villain after all. Luckily, Evie has realized her own self-worth outside of her beauty. It would definitely make for an interesting adventure for Evie. What other villain could be her father? If we stray away from the traditional Snow White story even further, and just look at some of the traits Evie has, it's super possible that her father could actually be none other than Beauty and the Beast's Gaston.
Thank you all for coming to my wedding. First, I better go in there and propose to the girl.
The Descendants is, after all, heavily focused on that classic tale with main character Ben being her son. It would definitely add to the drama. Like Gaston, Evie is beautiful, vain, and not to mention at times subconsciously selfish.
This is the land of opportunity. We can be whatever we want to be here.
You could argue that it was the way she was raised, but he is also a villain, which means he would be on the aisle. And if you know Gaston, he would definitely try to get with the person who was rivaling to be the fairest of them all, no matter if she wasn't Snow White. If we think of Evie's dad in relation to how it could fit in a possible fourth part, there's one theory that makes the most sense. In the third installment of the franchise, we all find out Mal's father is actually god of the underworld himself, Hades. He left when she was just a baby, but has since returned.
No, I left your mother.
In the film, Mal convinces Hades to give her his special ember. Although she is only half a goddess, she cannot channel all of the power his ember has. However, when she attempts to use it, her hair mysteriously begins to change from her classic purple to a dark blue. Sound familiar? Who else has unusually blue hair? That's right, Evie. Yes, we're saying that there just might be a possibility that Mal and Evie are siblings. Not only do they have the same blue hair, but their powers are similar. Evie also being considered the fairest of them all makes sense in this theory as well. Gods are, after all, considered to be traditionally beautiful when in comparison to regular humans. If we take a closer look at Mal and Evie's relationship, they also act way more like sisters than they do best friends.
Don't give me the face. Put the pout away.
They're constantly annoyed with one another, they call each other out, but in the end, are each other's go-to when things take a turn. If you have a sister, this kind of relationship probably sounds familiar. In the Descendants novels, Hades also has another child, a son named Hades, and his description is weirdly similar to Evie's. Blue hair, beautiful, self-centered, it doesn't get much more similar than that. Looking at the relationship between the evil queen and Maleficent, it would also explain the tension they had in the very first novel. It may not have been seen in the movies, but Evie and her mother were actually cursed to live by themselves in a castle in the very depths of the Isle after Maleficent banished them for not inviting Mal to Evie's 6th birthday. But what if it was all a cover-up? What if Maleficent actually discovered that Hades was Evie's father as well? It would make sense that the evil queen was jealous of Mal potentially becoming more beautiful than her daughter because they shared the same father. Either way, I think that we can all agree banishment seems a little harsh for not being invited to a birthday. The frustrating fact about all of these theories is that there's a possibility we may never know whether any of them are even remotely correct. While there's been speculation about a part 4, there's been no official announcement. With the tragic loss of Cameron Boyce in 2019, which would mean losing main character Carlos, people have already counted the next film out of the picture, but we're not giving up hope. In an interview last year, Dove Cameron opened up about her thoughts on a 4th film. While she did admit that it would feel weird continuing the franchise without Cameron, it's definitely not out of the question.
I don't know anything, but I definitely don't think that that's like an impossibility.
She admitted that things might have to happen in a different incarnation though. Sophia Carson, who plays Evie, also said that she's not sure what the future holds for the Descendants franchise.
It's a difficult subject, but Who knows? Who knows what the future holds? Who knows what the future holds?
but definitely thinks that there could be more story to tell. It was also revealed back in March 2020 that the films would be getting a Broadway show. So, could that be our ticket to finding out the truth once and for all? There has yet to be any casting announcements, and we'll admit that it'll probably be a little odd to see other actors playing our favorite Descendants, but it could definitely be a good way to clear out any unanswered questions. Guess we'll just have to wait and see. Whoever Evies' father is, he is no doubt just as epic as she is. What if he isn't even a villain? That would be a huge plot twist. What do you think about Mal and Evie potentially being half-sisters? Do you think that we'll get all of these answers in a hypothetical part 4? Let us know all of your magical opinions in the comments section below. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and give this video a like if you're rooting for a 4th film. Until next time.